Mulder buys a videotape of an alien autopsy that ends in the doctors getting gunned down. Convinced this is real, he and Scully pursue the case and find more than they ever expected.
Scully's life takes an unsettling turn when she meets a group of women who claim to be abductees.
This is not happening.
What is it?
According to the magazine ad I answered, it's an alien autopsy. Guaranteed authentic.
You spent money for this?
$29.95 plus shipping.
Mulder, this is even hokier than the one they aired on the Fox network. You can't even see what they're operating on.
Yeah, but it does look authentic. I mean, the setting and the procedures. I mean, it does look as if an actual autopsy is being performed, doesn't it?
Well, technically, I don't know why they would be wearing gas masks.
Well, maybe it's because of this green substance they seem to be extracting from the subject. Can you identify that?
Olive oil? Snake oil? I suppose you think it's alien blood.
It's widely held that aliens don't have blood, Scully.
I guess that begs the question if this is an alien autopsy.
Where's the alien? But what's so intriguing to me is the striking lack of detail here.
Well, what do you want for $29.95?
No, that autopsy you saw on TV was so fake precisely because it tried to show too much.
And this is real because it doesn't?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am Andrew, joined as usual by Mike. Mike, say hello.
Hello.
It's early where we are right now because scheduling. So if you detect a certain blur in our voices, a certain dishevelment in our usual totally put together ensemble, that is why.
I think the listeners can hear it in my voice, and even though this is an audio medium, I think they can see my hair right now.
Well, that was the first thing I noticed, is you got the crazies.
That's what happens when you roll out of bed and go, I got to record 2 episodes of the X-Files.
Do you have what it takes to roll out at the crack of 9? Well, we are going to...
But we're happy to be here.
We are totally happy to be here because, of course, we love talking about X-Files. And today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about X-Files. We're going to talk about Nisei, episode 9 of season 3. First of a 2-parter. This one's written by Chris Carter, Howard Gordon, and Frank Spotnitz. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Trifecta. They really combined efforts in this episode, and it seems unusual that Howard Gordon would have kind of that role.
He's not. He's not a mythology guy.
Not really. Yeah, it's usually just Carter and Spotnitz, but they occasionally bring people in to fill in the gaps. And obviously with Carter's supervision.
All right, so the trick will be, the thing that we're going to have to keep our eyes on in this episode is, can you spot the Chris, can you spot the Howard, and can you spot the Frank when we're seeing various scenes?
I'll take that challenge. I'll see.
That will be the mark of the true expert, is when we go, that's Chris Carter. I mean, anytime there will be a conspiracy angle, and there will be one, that is Chris. Anytime there is something giant that happens, something over the top, that'll be Howard. Yep. And anything that is rational and kind of makes sense, that'll be Frank.
Anything that reels it back in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Spotnitz.
Yeah, I like it. And directed by David Nutter. So yeah, he's still fairly early on, isn't he, in the X-Files at this point?
Yeah, he's been around, but he becomes much more prominent as the series goes on.
Yeah. Well, Nisei is a term in Japanese which means these are first-generation Japanese Americans. They're Americans born of Japanese immigrants to the United States. And that's where the episode gets its name. Of course, in the 90s, you didn't really see the titles of the shows, not like streaming now where, you get the name of the show and then you get the episode name. But
yeah, you'd have to buy the TV Guide or have the TV Guide channel.
Or be a fan in the fan club where they talked about everything. I wasn't one of those. Maybe you were, though. Were you part of the official X-Files?
I was not.
No.
I did not have that luxury.
We're going to have to ask our listeners whether they were and what cool swag they would have got. Did they get an autographed David Duchovny picture?
I bet you they did.
I think we're going to have to.
Several of them.
Follow up
X-Files newsletter written by FM Mulder.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, shall we start the show? Shall we push play on VCR to get it going?
Yep.
We open in Knoxville, Tennessee. A camera pans down to show us a train slowly passing. Cars are lined up to wait for it to pass by, and a gaggle of children arrive on their bikes. It is possibly the most delightful moment in the entire series, as the caboose operator waves to the kids as the last car of the train passes, and the kids all wave back. And man, aren't they wholesome? It's like the American rainbow right there. Everybody is.
This is Chris Carter.
This is Chris Carter. This is, and those are the kids of the producers that all got a walk-on credit.
Yep.
They probably all have drug problems now, but at the time, it was nice. And this is a Canadian National train, like the actual, because of course shot in Canada, but that iconic red and black, that is Canadian National.
So are you going to tell us where this was shot?
I believe it was shot in Vancouver, as is fitting for the entire show.
No, I know that, but I mean, do you know this train yard? Have you been here 1,000 times?
Oh yeah, I played here as a kid. Yeah. We had to kick.
I spray painted that train.
That's right. I tagged that train. It was awesome. The train trundles on and eventually comes to a stop. The train operator gets out, disconnects the car, and the train heads on without it. This happens all the time. Totally natural. Time passes and day turns into night, which is a very cool shot because the time passes on the car and the light, the character of the light changes. Very cool. And we linger next to the car in the misty evening. The camera sweeps over the train car with Mark Snow's innocent music transforming into ominous and creepy strains as the camera pulls away to show us the number emblazoned on the top of the train car, 82594. Suddenly, black Buick town cars pull up to the train car, and a group of Japanese men in overcoats get out, walk up to the car, bowing to each other. Inside the car, we see a sterile white environment that looks like a laboratory. The men are now dressed in surgical gear and appear to be in the midst of an operation. Odd tubes come out of the object of their attention with eerie green fluid draining out into a large glass carboy. The mysterious music continues as the scientists continue their operation. Suddenly, the door smashes open, and with a group of armed and masked soldiers bursting onto the scene, they spray the scientists with bullets and wreak havoc on the sterile operating theater. The soldiers pack up the object of the operation, which we have a quick shot of before the cold open ends. It's an alien gray who is zipped into a body bag. Wow. What
an opening.
Yeah. And I wish I had one of those gas masks or respirators, whatever, during COVID. That looks awesome.
I'm not afraid to go anywhere.
That's right. You screw your COVID. I'm good. I'm hugging everybody with this thing on.
Yeah.
What did you think of this opening, Mike?
I thought it was cool because, it starts out innocently enough. And I think
it's the kids on bikes, isn't it? It's Stranger Things right there.
Right. Yeah. I think it's an interesting open because they're definitely going for the dichotomy of all town America or every town America. Just, the day's going by, everything's normal, but there's this lurking danger that they have no idea how big this is, and it turns into a bloodbath really quickly. And just think of all the things that happen around us that we know nothing about.
Yeah, that's just...
It's interesting.
So that's Chris Carter right there, eh?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, beating us over the head with the wholesomeness of the kids and, the train conductor waving at it's like, all right, we got it.
Yeah.
We got it. They're innocent.
And maybe the tactical response is a bit of Howard Gordon. Like they send
a little bit
40 guys to kill 4 scientists.
Yeah, they didn't need like a whole squadron, maybe.
You know what they needed? They needed what? Okay, here's where it starts. They needed the red-haired man.
Yes, I was just going to say.
To just walk in and like pull out his garrote and then, cut to 4 dead men. But
one at a time.
I am officially going on record right here, right now. He does not have red hair. And it's.
Oh, I'm with you.
I don't know what this is. Can you explain to me this?
They must have had someone else in mind and forgot to change it or something. I don't know. Maybe the actor dropped out.
Did they have Carrot Top?
Yeah, they had Carrot Top. In between lifting weights, he came on for an X-Files show, but he had to call in. He couldn't make it for the official shooting.
Guys, I got a gig in L.A. I wish I could be on your show. Good luck with your X-Files.
Well, I mean, I guess we can be thankful they never say that.
Yeah.
So it's really just conjecture, I guess. I mean, it is official that he is the red-haired man, but it's also conjecture because, he doesn't get an on-screen name.
True. Well, I am going to give him an on-screen name, but I'm going to save that for when we actually meet him a little later on, which if you have been if you've been reading us on our Facebook group, you already know what my affectionate term for him is going to be, and it's great. So, back at the FBI, Mulder is putting his feet up when Scully arrives. He's watching something that just came in the mail, an alien autopsy video, which, Scully quips, isn't Mulder's usual form of entertainment.
Oh, even she knows.
Even she knows, or at least everybody knows she knows.
So how many times has she walked in on him?
I think probably more than once.
Scully, do not stir.
Did you not see the sock on the door?
Ugh,
Yeah.
Poor Scully.
Mike, fun fact, Fox aired the alien autopsy video for a couple of days leading up to this episode of The X-Files.
Yeah.
So
Exciting.
very self-referential and fun.
Absolutely.
As well, there is the sudden reveal of soldiers bursting in at the end of the video before it unceremoniously goes to static. So, that's kind of cool. Scully asks who is selling the tapes. Mulder reveals it's a guy in Allentown, Pennsylvania, who pulled it off a satellite dish at 2 a.m, which begs some questions, but I'm going to ask you what you think so far.
So far, it's intriguing.
Yeah.
I think for as ridiculous as it is that Mulder's following an alien autopsy tape, he does have a point, I guess. It is a little bit more, it's less theatrical than what you would expect the alien autopsy to look like, the one everyone wants to see. I think that's an interesting point. And when the gunman burst in, it's not something you would readily see in an alien autopsy. So
No, exactly.
I think that's an interesting case or an interesting reason to look at the case. I think that's legitimate.
Well,
It's
and interesting that they cut it there. So I have some questions about what almost sounds like a throwaway. Like it's how the dude in Allentown gets the video. And the answer is he got it off a satellite dish at 2 a.m. So that means in train car 82594, they're broadcasting this. Like they're not just recording it, but they are actually transmitting it.
Yeah.
And they're transmitting it widely enough that it could be caught on somebody's
Intercepted.
satellite dish. I mean, we know the syndicate is not perfect. And if this is in fact the syndicate, which it is, we find that out in 731. But that's sloppy on a higher plane.
Yeah, you got to wonder why they're broadcasting it. I mean, they make a point of showing us that satellite when the camera pans down into the train.
True, yes, okay.
I don't know who's watching it other than maybe the Japanese national who left or his other group of friends maybe, but
Can't wait for the videotape? I mean,
my question is, and it could be because I am tired and I don't remember, but
this is how I'm going to win from now on, as I'm going to start these episodes recording in the morning when you're not awake yet. I'm just going to throw my opinions at you, and you're going to be like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Totally, never
this
thought
show
of it like
sucks. No, how fast did Mulder get that tape? Is he saying 2 a.m. that morning, and it came from Allentown? How did he get his hands on a tape that quickly?
It couldn't have been. I mean, I know that I know there are some problems with timing in this episode because they reference the fact that the 4 scientists were killed last night later on in the episode. So there is a disconnect in terms of when the tape is made, and he throws it together and then somehow manages to get it into a magazine ad.
Exactly, and he paid $29.95 plus shipping.
That's good service by the post office.
Yeah, absolute kudos. 5-star Yelp review.
So I mean, we're talking that should have been at least 6 weeks of not just delivery, but that should have been at least 6 weeks of he got the tape. He had to call up the classified section of Alien Abductee magazine, to which FM Looter is a subscriber. And then he immediately saw it. and ordered it. And got
they were
it.
ready to place any ad. they just had it ready to go. They popped it in there.
They're desperate for the ad revenue.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was quick.
Yeah, it was
quick.
It was pretty quick. So as conceits go to get their duo involved, I think it's a bit thin.
Couldn't they just say last week or something? Or couldn't he have come across it? Couldn't someone have handed it to him?
Well,
Did he have to get it shipped and be weird?
yeah, it just shows up on his doorstep like that.
Yeah,
They've
exactly.
done that kind of works. But I think it's fun, right? That he
Absolutely.
ordered this and he got it, and it just shows that the syndicate is not perfect and that they have holes in their systems. But what it could work for is this idea that there are dozens of these train cars, and that this event did in fact happen 8-10 weeks ago, and that it's finally gotten to him. So I'm willing to go with the idea that when they talk about 4 scientists being killed last night, there are 4 different scientists.
Yeah,
They're not the ones we just saw. It's a bit loose. They don't really get into it, but that's
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I've analyzed that one pretty well. That's not my worst problem with this episode. I actually kind of like this episode, I got to tell you.
It's a good episode. I enjoy it.
731's the train wreck, but this one is fun.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep on going. They're going off to Allentown, Pennsylvania, as the duo drive up to a nondescript gray house. Mulder goes around back. Scully reports that the front door has been boarded up, but Mulder's going in as the back door has been busted open. Probable cause, anyone? Inside, they lazily clear the rooms, shrouded in darkness. Scully discovers a corpse, hands tied behind his back and shot in the head through a pillow. Scully checks him and notes he's still warm. When she said that, I had a little chill go up my spine.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this just happened, Like if you ran a few red lights, this guy'd still be alive.
All right.
Mulder hears the door close and runs to investigate. A chase ensues as a Japanese man runs out the backyard carrying a briefcase. The two run through several backyards until Mulder traps the man against a chain link fence. The intruder breaks out some karate and in short order disarms Mulder and sends him sprawling to the ground. The guy's about to climb the fence and get away when Mulder pulls out a backup piece from an ankle holster and fires a warning shot. "I got tired of losing my gun," he quips, as the man surrenders. We find out that the man either doesn't know any English or refuses to soil his tongue with the language, as he responds only in Japanese to Mulder's questions, who he is, what he's doing there. Mulder takes the man's bag and prompts him to come back to the scene of the crime. When the man refuses, Mulder cocks his gun menacingly, which finally convinces the man to go along willingly. Thoughts so far?
It's intense.
Yeah.
They catch up to a murderer who seconds earlier just got done killing people. And
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yes. Complete coincidence that he was there.
I enjoyed the little face-off between him and the Japanese man.
Oh, the backup piece is awesome, by the way. That's I love that they acknowledge their own tropes, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, a little technical sidebar.
Oh.
We keep on getting this gun-cocking Hollywood trope thing, and specifically, Mulder here is using a Walther PPK as his backup piece, possibly the same gun that Scully was armed with in all of Season 1. It is an automatic pistol, which means that since Mulder has already fired a warning shot to make the man stop, he doesn't need to cock it again, as that's how guns of this nature work. When you pull the trigger, they are pre-cocked to fire the next thing. So we missed the scene where he decocked the gun.
Hold on, I got to unprepare myself.
I have to lower the level of tension in this scene so that I'm not going to alarm you. And then he recocks it to amp up the tension again. So
now you've made me angry again.
Again, a gag with my friends in the 80s was they needed a 6-stage cocking device so you could keep on intimidating somebody by fully cocking the gun. Well, later on, we're at Substation C in Allentown. This is a police precinct. Odd that the legend calls it Substation C as opposed to Allentown Police Station.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a power station when I first saw that, but okay.
We're going to take you to the local electrical company.
Yeah, we're having the floors redone at the PD, so we're shacking up with the utility company.
This is their temporary office.
We have a whole episode which goes on about the reno that they're doing there. Well, Scully returns through a busy corridor full of police doing police things to report back to Mulder. An interpreter cannot be located. Skinner arrives unexpectedly and confirms to Mulder and Scully that he doesn't speak Japanese.
Agent Mulder? Scully?
This is a surprise, sir.
You don't speak Japanese by any chance, do you?
I wish I could. It might save us all some embarrassment.
What do you mean?
I'm up here with a federal attorney trying to sort out a little international mess. He said you made an arrest tonight.
Murder suspect, yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're gonna have to release him.
What are you talking about?
According to the Japanese diplomatic corps, the man you arrested is a high-ranking diplomat.
This man sitting in here?
That's Kazuo Sakurai.
Well, I didn't get his name. I was too busy getting my ass kicked.
What about the murder victim or the paperwork?
It's all got to be handled by some other agency. What are you two doing out here anyway?
Tracking down a video piracy thing.
I suggest you keep your nose clean and head straight back to Washington, Agent Mulder. Before someone takes another swipe at it.
And to cap the scene, Kazuo looks over at them through the reinforced glass of his cell with a mean look. Is he a nice man? No, he's a karate fighting ninja bad guy.
Yeah, of course he knew hand-to-hand combat.
I hate to agree with you that they lean heavily into the Japanese stereotype here, but at least he's the only one, you know?
Yeah, they're not all just unarmed
Yeah.
assailants with fists of fury.
Although I do relish the idea of this scene, Mulder break into the train car and there are more Japanese scientists and they all break out the katanas and surround him and then attack him one by one.
Yes. He knocks them out one by one with a jump kick.
Oh my God, I want to see that scene so bad.
That's a better episode.
That's a better
we need to watch
episode.
that. We're gonna throw everything to the wind. We're gonna just lean into the stereotypes in this episode.
It's a dream sequence and it's an homage, so fuck off. That's what it should be.
Absolutely.
Revenge of the Nisei. Okay. The pair leave the station. Scully is not buying that the man they arrested isn't somehow implicated in the murder, and Mulder similarly doesn't want to give up on the case. He reveals he didn't turn in some evidence in the form of the briefcase he took from Kazuo. He opens it to reveal satellite photos and a list of MUFON members in the Allentown area with the name Betsy Hagopian circled. Okay, I'll get back to Betsy Hagopian, but to round out the scene, Scully is going to stick around in Allentown. Mulder's going to head back to Washington and be a good little boy. Can you tell me the history, the ethnicity of the name Hagopian? Or is that just the worst made-up name you've ever...
That is an interesting name.
Yeah.
Hagopian.
It's a good one. Well, let's assume it's Polish, because whenever you've got a doubt... Oh, no, it could be Greek, actually. Hagopian? No.
Maybe.
Lovely listeners, if anybody has a relative with the name of Hagopian, please get in touch.
How dare you make fun of my family name? 1 star. Bastards. This was the greatest show until you said that.
Until you called out my Aunt Betsy.
Her name's actually Betsy Hagopian.
Yeah, she was the namesake for the show. She gets residuals. All right. Let's dig ourselves out of this hole. We cut to a close-up of the satellite photo, specifically a bolt called the Talapus. Mulder is visiting the lone gunman who confirms this intelligence is likely Japanese. Well, fucking duh. I mean, I took it off of a Japanese man, so that makes it Japanese.
Well, you can't assume anything.
That's true. I would have liked him to say, this intelligence is likely from Ghana. You know?
From Ghana?
Just because I'm a big shot intelligent guy. Mulder asks what it all means, and the gunman explained to Mulder and us that the Talapus was searching for a lost World War II Japanese submarine, which was rumored to be carrying a lot of gold bullion. The photos tracked the ship, but it never returned to its own port of San Diego. Rather, it ended up in a naval shipyard in Newport News, Virginia. Mulder implies, ominously, that what they found wasn't a Japanese sub. And let me ask you, Mike,
Yes, sir.
Of all the miscellaneous information that the lone gunmen just know, that they just happen to have in their back pocket, treasure hunting trawlers.
It is a vast knowledge. Much like Fearful Symmetry, where they knew all about the mystical happenings of the zoo, and they've trot out a bunch of information here that no one would ever know.
Yeah.
But because a boat didn't keep its regularly scheduled route, they know all about it.
Yeah.
This one diverted here, and we don't know why. It must be a conspiracy.
Yeah. I mean, full marks for including the lone gunman.
Absolutely.
But a bit of a stretch. Although I do like Frohike's fur vest. I think that really
what is up?
that sells the scene.
Oh, man.
We cut to the Japanese embassy in Washington, D.C. at night. A car awaits a man outside the columns of the building. He gets in, and all the doors lock. It's ominous. So ominous that Mark Snow hits us with some music stings to undermine the fact that this guy is not going to get out of here alive.
It's my man.
A man opposite the soon-to-be corpse emerges from the shadow of the passenger seat, his face carved with wrinkles. The driver returns to the front and adjusts his rearview mirror so that we can see the Japanese man being strangled. The car slowly drives off into the night. Now, this is why I'm calling the man Mr. Wrinkles.
Mr. Wrinkles.
Mr. Wrinkles. No red hair to be seen on this man. No carrot top. His name from henceforth shall be Mr. Wrinkles. And this is another syndicate guy so devoted to the cause. I think they must have the weight of the world on this guy. And probably he just enjoys killing. So it's not, that much of a stretch for him to do this.
This guy enjoys his job.
But they must have something on him that he is so devoted, because why? For the things he's going to do. Yeah, because it makes the episode, sure. He just needs to start breaking out some kung fu fighting, and we got an episode, baby.
There you go.
The next morning, we are with Scully as she arrives at the MUFON headquarters. MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network?
UFO Network,
yeah. Her knock is answered by a woman who is not Betsy Hagopian. The woman who we'll learn is Lottie. And actually, I wrote this down, and we never learn her name. It's only a credit. But we know Penny. We learn about Penny. We learn all about Penny. So Lottie looks at Scully as there's a dim look of recognition on her face. I know you, she says. We saw you. And her friend Penny comes to the door and confirms she's one. Which is just
my God.
All around freaky. She's one, all right. One of them. And this is a nice little callback to Red Museum, eh?
Yeah.
She is one.
That's got to be a creepy scene, right? A creepy feeling. Open a door to a stranger's house and I know you. But it's not the friendly I know you. It's the we know you.
Yes, you are one of us.
Yeah. Penny is a recurring actress. This is her final role in the X-Files. She will be Penny Northern for a couple episodes and then she'll be done.
Now, do you remember what episode she was in previously?
It is 9:30 in the morning. And I just got up, so no, I don't.
Well, I have it here on a screen next to me if you want me to tell you.
Please do so.
She played in Ghost in the Machine, our favorite episode, as well as Beth Kane in Red Museum.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Exactly. So, as Mike drinks some coffee, after a commercial break, Scully is confused. As Penny calls someone else to gather the rest of the group, Scully explains she's just there conducting a murder investigation. Yo, what are you talking about? She is one, all this BS. Murder investigation of a man named Steve Zinzer, and Lottie explains that Steve is a member of their chapter. There's some more back and forth, but the upshot of the scene is that the women are about to explain to Scully that they've all been abducted too. It's getting real. Mike, who wrote this?
This would be Carter.
Is Carter for sure.
Yeah.
Conspiracy, all the conspiracy. And it's the through line of the show. Like, it's the big kahuna of the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mulder is visiting the U.S. Coast Guard HQ in Newport News, Virginia. Newport News. Who named that?
I always wonder who comes up with names.
Yeah.
And Newport News, that is an interesting name.
Well, I have a feeling it's a real place.
It is a real place.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is.
I mean, I don't know your country. I don't your naming conventions. Other than everything's a burg or a town or a ville. Newtown, Newport, Newville, Newburgh,
Yep.
Stevesville.
I actually
named
lived
after
off
Steve.
of a Newburgh road. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, well, of course you're not, because that's all you got.
That's all I got.
Mulder is talking with the Coast Guard officer, the one who went out to meet the Talapis. In the end, he never went aboard, as the DEA impounded the boat on a drugs pretext. However, the crew weren't arrested. The boat was sent on its way. But Mulder wants to know where it went, asking the man to do more work than he already has to do. Jesus Christ, Mulder. Have you got no
I'm happy to wait.
I'm happy to wait. Big dick. Right here.
Let me just reach into my coat. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my badge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you want me to file some warrants and subpoenas and have a look around?
Oh, I got to tie my shoe. What? An ankle holster? Oh, where's my other gun?
Oh, was that in your face? Yeah. And to that point, like, clicking the gun ominously, like, I'm going to shoot you if you don't come with me. Like, surely there must be some other FBI techniques to gain compliance.
No,
That's
is
all I got.
100% all you do. You have someone that you want to question, you pull a gun on them, and you cock it.
Multiple
Come
times.
with me, sir.
Multiple times. So back at the Hagopian household, Scully learns about the MUFON members. They've all had the same abduction experience that Scully has had. This is enough to freak out Scully, who doesn't appear ready to talk about her experience, but something about this collection of women and their shared experience seems to be winning her over.
It's a disturbing scene, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Scully herself is entertaining this, and she's actually sitting, she's surrounded by these women, and they're just talking and telling her about her experience, and she's doing her best not to show emotion, but, you know, you can see with the flashes her memories coming back, and I don't necessarily believe that she forgot anything. I think she just is pushing it out because she's traumatized by it. But yeah, I think it's a disturbing scene to have a bunch of women tell you you're going to die.
Well, that happens later.
I know, but okay, fine. I'll cut that.
I'm just saying that it's a nice pacing to sort of get in under Scully's sin. Sin. It is early. It is early. To get in under her skin this way. It's a slow burn. It's like one revelation after another, and it's giving her answers she's wanted but not wanted at the same time is the thing.
Yeah.
So Mulder's going to get some answers of his own from the Coast Guard dude, but he's already on the move.
He's like, screw it. I'm just going to go.
It's the worst. You know, he's like, I'll wait.
Please waste your time finding all this information. I'm gonna head out and do my own research.
Or was it a gambit for him to like get the guy?
I think it was, honestly.
Must have been.
I think he wanted to keep the guy in charge busy.
Because he already knows that the boat's still there.
Yeah.
He must already know, because like that's a big dock to just sort of wander around and, oh, look, there's the boat. Well,
I just happened upon it.
He heads out onto the docks. He's running across the docks, boats, jetties, other naval port type things, you know, ladders, gangways,
hydraulic
planks.
elevators.
Yeah. We know where we are. We're definitely at a port. And eventually he arrives to see the Talapis is actually docked nearby. So Mulder breaks in and searches the ship, confirming from a jacket's logo that, yep, it's the Talapis.
Talapis.
Talapis?
I think that's the way they say it. I don't care either way.
I go with tilapia.
It makes sense.
You know, tilapis. Who?
God, I could use some. No,
that'd be good right now. Some kippers.
Yeah.
So he's downstairs when he hears cars squeal to a halt outside. Squad of...
That was an interesting hears.
Hers. All right,
but you saved it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm doing it again now for that.
No, I'm going to save that.
Shit. Well, I'm saying it again anyway, just to give you the option. He's downstairs when he hears... No, I can't do that. It's too funny. He's downstairs when he hears cars squeal to a halt outside. A squad of armed soldiers arrives and scampers onto the boat with murder on their minds. Mulder eludes them like the pro he is, managing to dive into the water and escape.
You know, you say pro, but that is not a pro dive. It's like a limp fish.
That is a 9. That is a solid 9.
That's a 9? Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Hold on, let me...
I think he got a stunt diver for that.
No.
You think that's actually
that's totally him. He jumps off. He does all his own stuff. Oh, maybe it's not.
He does, but
that is not a 9. Hold on.
I want to see, I'm going to look at the splash on that.
That is a full body splash. That's a few degrees from a belly flop.
I'm reviewing the tape.
He goes behind the yellow boat. It may not be him now that you mention it, because that's probably what they were doing. Yeah, that's not him. That's totally his feet almost hit the water at the same time his hands do.
And that's totally not him. Oh, yeah, that's
I never paid attention until you questioned it, and I'm like, well, because he jumps onto a train at the end of the episode. Why can't he dive into some water? So it's cold. That's fair. I just never looked at the face, I guess, because it's pretty obvious it's not him.
What I would like to know is why the bumbling blue beret guys, I'm assuming that's who they are, because that's all they got to drag out, why they're not shooting and blamming their way onto where the body obviously splashed into the water. Like they Keystone Cops it out of there.
They do. We don't know what we're doing. We're not going to fire into the water. We're going to kill fish. We don't want to do that.
That's environmentally irresponsible.
Yeah.
Bullets have
well, I mean, they're nothing if not responsible and environmentally conscious.
For sure.
You know, they do their job. They're bad people, but God damn it. This earth is dying, and they need to make sure they do not add to it.
Do you know how much lead is in the average bullet?
Absolutely. You can't just fire into the ocean.
Yeah, it's bad news. It is the ocean, and in this case, though, it's the Atlantic, not the Pacific, in real life Pacific. Scully continues to discuss her experience with the MUFON members, intercut with flashbacks of her abduction. Ooh, look at that. Pregnant belly again. Thank you. Scully learns that all the MUFON members have the same implants that she has had removed. Scully lashes out and asks why they're here, where Betsy Hagopian is. You know, that's like the first question you should ask, but anyway, you've had other stuff to talk about. The answer is that Betsy is in the advanced stages of an undiagnosed cancer. She has had tumors that don't respond to any kind of treatment. Peggy and Lottie give Scully the bad news. What's happening to Betsy is going to happen to all of them. No foreshadowing.
Yeah, that is...
It's pretty scary.
It takes the tension of that scene and just go, oh my God. When that lady kneels down and shows Scully her scar, and she kind of closes her eyes and turns away like, I can't believe this is happening. This is exactly what's on my body.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Well, I mean, talk about conspiracy when they all show the implants that they've got in the little bottles. Oh, my God. Well, later that night, a soggy Mulder emerges from the water by the docks. He runs back to the dockyard and finds a warehouse guarded by the same soldiers who chased him. Bright light emanating from within. And realizing as I've written this, I should specify that the bright light is emanating from within the warehouse, not the soldiers.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. I mean, I know you've probably seen it, but you know, if you hadn't and you're just following along, then that's a point that's worth making.
Yes.
Mulder circles around and finds a dirty window to peer through. Inside, he sees an ovular structure shrouded in plastic tarps being sprayed by men in hazmat suits with fire extinguishers. Good at that, man. Holy cow. And he did not bring a camera, so we can only look on in amazement as we cut to commercial, probably for Acme fire extinguishers.
Acme fire extinguishers and tarps.
And tarps.
Ever wanted to cover something up?
Have you ever needed to hide the evidence?
Have you ever hid a body in paper towels? Well, we've got the product for you.
Paper towels weigh down with body matter, whereas tarps repel body matter, keeping your package light and supple. Buy Acme tarps today. 18 feet for only $29.95 plus shipping and handling. After the commercial, Mulder returns home to find his door ajar and the lights out. His apartment has been tossed as people are probably looking for that briefcase. He clears the rooms, gun drawn, the rooms bathed in blue and yellow light until Skinner... He clears the rooms, gun drawn, the rooms bathed in blue and yellow light until Skinner jump scares us from the
Think they
shadows.
found what they were looking for?
I don't remember giving you a key.
I came to see you. Obviously, I was late for the party.
Yeah, I guess I should really fire my maid, shouldn't I?
Put the gun down, Mulder. Somebody else might get hurt.
What are you talking about?
Kazuo Sakurai, the diplomat that you detained yesterday,
A murder suspect.
he didn't make his flight last night. This morning, his body was found floating face down in the C&O Canal. I think we can assume he wasn't diving for pearls. The Japanese government believes that he was murdered for the contents of a briefcase that he was carrying. A piece of evidence that wasn't logged in the time of his arrest.
What do they think was in it?
I've got the State Department breathing down my neck, Mulder. The Japanese are set to prosecute this outside of diplomatic channels, so let's cut the crap.
Am I being accused of murder?
Where's the briefcase?
Agent Scully has it. She has it in the trunk of her rental car.
And where is she?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to her since I left her in Allentown.
Then you better find her. Because whatever you stepped in on this case is being tracked into my office, and I don't like the smell of it.
Mind if I tidy up in here a bit first?
This is bigger than me, you, or the FBI agent, Mulder.
Oh, okay. So who wrote this scene between Skinner and Mulder? Showdown scene.
I would say Spotnitz. He hasn't gotten a credit yet, and it's not over the top.
And there's good dialogue between them. Like,
Absolutely.
It's tense. So it's not Howard Gordon, and Chris Carter doesn't really know how to write interaction. So yeah, I go with Spotnitz.
Damn, calling Carter out.
Sorry, it's true. If you're not angry about a conspiracy, you're not Carter.
Okay.
Well, who is in Mulder's corner? Who's left?
Scully.
Barely.
Barely.
Not a woman.
Well, no one. Except Mr. X.
No, close.
No.
It's like you hadn't even watched this episode. Do you even like this show? It's
No.
Senator Matheson, dude.
I
My
know.
God. Well, the next day, we're at Senator Matheson's office in D.C. When all their chips are down, Mulder always goes back to Senator Matheson's for help. Well, the senator knows all about Mulder's problems. He's on the Intelligence Committee. He advises Mulder to return the satellite photos. But Mulder rebels against this, suggesting if he gets caught up in a murder investigation, the bad guys will have time to bury everything he's seen. Matheson goes on to tell Mulder about the murder of the Japanese scientists in Knoxville that we saw both in the pre-credit sequence and on Mulder's $29.95 video. He hands Mulder the names of the 4 dead scientists and tells Mulder he has a limited window of time. Now, this is the problem right here, because if this happened recently, then how did Mulder get a video from a magazine like as recently to document the actual event? As we've just humorously described, it would probably take about 8 to 10 weeks to sort out,
Yeah.
your shipping and handling situation at the very least, but, getting an ad in the magazine. So I am willing to go with it that it's not, in fact, the 4 dead scientists that we saw in the pre-credit sequence. It's another 4 dead scientists. That's the only thing that works for me.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Back in his office, the camera circles Mulder as he is deep in research. Scully joins him, having returned from Allentown, and she tells him about her experience with the MUFON members. The big takeaway is that they all have the same implant, and that Betsy is dying. Mulder suggests that they shouldn't freak out until they know how and what the implant is, how it got there, all that stuff. This plot point gets tabled as Mulder reveals what he's learned, that the 4 Japanese scientists were part of an elite section of the Japanese Medical Corps known as 731. Yes, you'd like to add something?
I would just want to... I feel
it's-
bad for Scully.
Your problems are fine, but let's talk about the case.
I would rather talk about alien autopsies and gunmen that we can't find than know that my best friend and partner is quite possibly going to be fighting for her life real soon.
Well, to be fair, what are you going to do about it right now?
Right. And that's fair.
You know?
And I know they got to move forward, but Jesus. You know what, Scully? Let's not freak out. calm down. You're hysterical.
Do you want to?
He just slaps her across the face. Woman.
Woman, get your act together. Come on, we got karate fighting ninjas out here. We got to do something.
He's like, I was really hoping to jump onto a train by the end of this case. So let's move it along, Scully.
Yep. I agree with you, though. It is like they hand wave it away. There's an element of him being sympathetic, but ultimately his response is nothing we can do about it. Let's kind of just wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a much better scene if she stopped him from caring. Like she's like, we gotta move forward.
If she controlled it, yeah.
But him just going, let's not freak out until we know what it is.
Until you actually get the cancer, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do. It's just conjecture, really.
You know what? Don't change your lifestyle. It's probably not contributing to your.
Should probably stop smoking, Scully.
All that offstage smoking.
Just in future episodes, she becomes increasingly more self-contained and eating health food and staying away from the CSM.
I would love a supercut of all the cancer-causing activities that she does. Like she's renovating her house, putting in fiberglass insulation without a mask on.
Without a mask, she's working in a like 1950s warehouse.
Yeah, she's removing asbestos from her ceiling tiles. And then later on, she's
microwaving something with the door open.
Then later on, she has a doctor's appointment when they tells her that she has cancer. She's like, but how? It's the implant.
It's the implant.
Oh, that's dark humor, I'm realizing.
Oh, that's good stuff, though.
But it's very fun.
That's fantastic.
All right, back to 731. So the Japanese had their own little human eugenics program, whatever, similar to the Germans. Their medical corps was known as 731, and we're shown a cavalcade of war crimes, which prove to us that these are not nice guys. And we learned that they were killed yesterday, which may or may not track with the flow of the plot, but is the smallest of crimes in an otherwise excellent plot so far. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this is coming together pretty well.
Of the things that the X-Files does well, conspiracy is one. Tracking time and space is not one. Like,
Wait a minute. You can't fly instantaneously to a location? What? You can't order a tape that was just broadcast and get it shipped across 2 states to your house in the same day? I don't know.
The only thing that would have made this episode better would be if the dude who sent them the tape lived in Martha's Vineyard. He just drove out there.
Yes. Took a ferry.
Yeah. Plane to car to ferry. Yeah.
Well, he's one of the rich guys who has his own little plane. He can take off and hand deliver it.
That must be it. Okay. We're going to keep on going.
Keep on going.
Trekking along. So Mulder continues to lay it out. He believes the tilapia, pulled a UFO off the bottom of the Pacific, that it was impounded by the U.S. government, and that it's what's being guarded by U.S. soldiers in the warehouse. Further, that experiments are being conducted on the EBEs, nice callback, found in the UFO in labs set up in train cars. They have some typical back and forth on belief versus proof, and even reference their experiences from Paperclip. But in the end, they're going to stick to their familiar sides in the eternal debate that is Mulder versus Scully.
I mean, you can't go against formula yet.
No.
It's only been 2.5 years, Scully.
That's right. She needs proof, damn it. Scully takes the chip to a new recurring character, Agent Pendrell. He's the red-haired man.
He is.
Yeah. Maybe that's the roles.
Yeah, maybe he was supposed to be the killer. And fucking
Mr. Wrinkles is going to be Pendrell.
Stephen McCaddy was supposed to be the agent.
I would love that.
You know what? It's more believable because well, not more believable, but I would rather see Stephen McCaddy in a few episodes than just these two.
I wish he didn't get killed at the end of this episode.
I love this guy.
This guy is amazing, and it's ridiculous that they just decide to off him, but what are you going to do? I'm just imagining this Pendrell Scully scene with Steve McCadry as Pendrell, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay. So Pendrell takes a super close-up of the chip, and we're looking at it on screen. It is some kind of microprocessor, though extremely complex. There are only a few companies which could manufacture something like this, and Scully asks what the purpose could be. Pendrell's response is vague until he happens to reference an example of the severely disabled being able to operate computers using their brainwaves. The chip is able to interface directly through the electrochemicals in the brain, which is an ominous little bit of foreshadowing. Next up, Quinmont, West Virginia, which is probably a real place. But I don't know.
That I don't know.
This looks like another CP rail yard in West Van, but you know.
You just see a big Canadian flag on one of the train cars. Well, we couldn't take that out. So
there's literally a boxcar that has CN on it. Like it's.
Yeah.
I know you're doing B-roll, but boy. What do we got? We got an establishing shot, shows us he's in a train yard. Mulder scales to the top of a building to spy through some binoculars. He sees the train car 82517 and a collection of vehicles pull up. A white van followed by 2 town cars. Another bunch of Japanese men come out. They escort a humanoid figure in a hazmat suit, which Mark Snow underlines as an alien with a great music sting. And we cut to commercial. Ooh, more conspiracy.
This was a little much. This is Howard Gordon.
You think?
Because the walking alien humanoid figure in the hazmat suit's a little goofy.
Yeah,
It's like, how can we up the ante just a little bit more? Oh, here we go.
No, I think this is Chris Carter. I think this is pure conspiracy land right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean the story is conspiracy, but the scene, we should have him walking out of the van to the train car. We can get a glimpse of the face.
That if it was Howard Gordon, they would just get in the train car when soldiers would show up and start shooting, and the train car would barely get away, bullets ricocheting off the back of it. That's what I think Howard Gordon would write.
Fair enough.
Okay. We return to Mulder, rushing over to get a closer look. The well-dressed Japanese are packing up and heading out, and the train is leaving the station. He chases after the train, but it's no use. He can't catch up, and he tears back the other way. Meanwhile, Scully is reviewing the videotape Mulder bought to get a look at the Japanese scientist there. The scientist is typing a code onto a security lock and turning away, allowing her to get a look at his face. Sure enough, we have a flashback which shows it's one of the men who experimented on her during her abduction. She's interrupted by a phone call. It's Mulder calling from the train yard. He relates what he's seen and says he's going to catch up with the train when it connects with a Canadian passenger train outside of Cincinnati. Well, that's convenient, Mike, that it's a Canadian passenger train.
Absolutely.
Scully then relates her breaking news about Dr. Ishimaru. Ooh.
Ishimaru.
We got to the Edwards Terminal in Queensgate, Ohio. We're taking this thing all over the place, Mike.
Yeah.
We're going.
Here we go.
We're getting a review of all the American states and places, and it's great. The camera follows a Japanese man as he enters the washroom, and he's followed in by Mr. Wrinkles, so we know nothing good is going to happen to him. Meanwhile, Dr. Ishimaru also wanders around the station. In the bathroom, Mr. Wrinkles finishing his garroting and then goes to fix his hair on the way out of the bathroom. Oh my God, this guy is so great. Why did
he is perfect.
He's awesome. Like, just zero humanity.
Elaine's therapist boyfriend in Seinfeld.
Oh, you're right. Oh, I did not even make that connection.
Season 4, baby.
So awesome. Outside, Mulder pulls up and illegally parks his car to rush into the station.
I like how you just throw it in. But
You know I'm right.
Yeah.
But he's too late. It's just pulled out of the station. This guy can't catch a break. Can't catch a train either. You know what I'm saying?
Ba-doom.
Yeah. Back to Scully, who's dropping by Mulder's apartment, and Mr. X is there in the hallway wanting to know if she has spoken to Mulder. He's in danger, and she's got to get word to him. But Mulder doesn't trust Mr. X, as she notes that he's lied to them before. Yep. He's insistent, stepping on her... No. He's insistent. terrible.
Keeping all this
I'm a
in
hacker
there.
fraud. Yeah. The editing on this is, you can put that in air quotes.
Yeah.
I can export the entire thing. I'm great. Okay.
Yep.
He's insistent, stopping her from closing the door with his foot, noting that they're wasting time. Man, there's nothing like Stephen Williams, just
Yeah.
a force of nature.
When he gets intense, he gets intense.
He
And
does.
I will do whatever you say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stop yelling.
We cut back to the train rolling through town, Mulder arriving at an overpass. His phone rings as he sees the train approaching. It's Scully. Tells him not to get on the train. They know where he is and what he's doing. When Mulder asks who told her this, she hesitates, saying it's just too dangerous. He wants to know who is pressuring her, and in the moment of hesitation, he commits, jumping off the overpass and onto the train, doing his own stunt. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Good old David.
Yeah.
I'll jump on a train.
Yeah, it's
I'll
moving.
hang from a ski lift.
It's moving 5 kilometers an hour. It's fine.
Still pretty impressive.
I mean, I don't think I would do that.
It's not Tom Cruise jumping off a cliff on a
No.
motorcycle, but still, I mean, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff, all right.
And plus, getting your producers to agree to it.
Oh, the insurance is probably crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you're the star of the show. Let's. Can we have some wires, please?
Something. Well, he jumps off. He drops his cell phone. In the process, their connection is lost, and the train rolls off in the distance and into the sequel. To be continued. Mike, what do you think? Wrap it up for us.
Fun episode. I really like the continuous ramping up of tension.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job of setting up the next episode and giving us information that will be not just detrimental to Scully, but detrimental to the future of the X-Files. I think it's a very powerful thing what they've started here. And it's weird because we don't really come back to it for a season from this point.
Oh, it's Scully's cancer?
Yeah, Scully's cancer. They mention it here, and then it's just kind of gone.
Yep.
Until
Mulder?
No.
Pendrell?
No.
Mr. Wrinkles?
No. Shit.
That's not a character.
No, until the cancer episode. Fucking. Well, this isn't. Okay, well, whatever. Cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike is a recognized expert on X-Files trivia.
God damn,
He's got a book and everything.
early. It's not even early. It's 10 now. What the fuck? All right. Anyway, so yeah, the episode's fun. I like it. It's suspenseful, and I enjoy that they're really taking their liberties with the conspiracy being more than just CSM. And it's something they introduced us to at the end of season 2, and they're really taking time to flesh out at least a little bit the idea that there are multiple agencies kind of working their own plans or working together but still hiding shit from each other.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I like it.
I totally agree with that. I mean, more mythology.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I was living for when I was watching the show. Was the monsters of the week are good, but I knew that there is a really interesting story, and I wanted to know what happened next. So when we got to have these moments to check in with the plot, it was great. And they would sort of dole out little bits and pieces. And this is an excellent example. We're setting it all up here in Nisei, but we'll get a little payoff in 731.
Yeah.
Great episode, well paced, but almost no notes for me that really take away anything. I mean, yes, there's a few things. The timeline with the dead 4 scientists is clearly not great.
And the illegal parking by Mulder.
The illegal parking. I mean, my God. I mean, yeah, you could probably say get away with it because he's an FBI agent in pursuit of a something, but the backup piece is great. It's a great little quip. Then some good plot nuggets. Most importantly, as you say, the background on the implant in Scully. Another great reveal of aliens. How many times now have they seen alien ships being safeguarded by some shadowy government agency? I mean, boy, Earth is just popular with the aliens, but
Very popular.
at least this one is way more integrated into the plot than the UFO flyover and Paperclip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it has...
It has meaning here.
meaning.
There's a story written around this being,
Yeah.
whereas the Paperclip is just like, okay, there are aliens now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
then
they
they're,
need
then,
to
then
be
they're
here.
gone, and we'll never speak of them again. Although now I think about it, 731 brings us the premise that they're not aliens, that they're human hybrids, that they do this testing. That's the whole point, is they're doing testing in these things. So what is it? It's a red herring, the alien ship or the big ovular thing that they have found. It's totally separate from, like, the plot is meaning for us to think that the alien comes from that ship, but in fact it does not.
Yeah.
A little bait and switch there.
So it depends on what you believe, right?
Well, doesn't it always?
It always does.
Anywho, the setup for 731 is great, and the cliffhanger is excellent. What is going to happen to Mulder as he takes yet another risk for the tiniest of rewards? Tune in next week.
Oh,
Yeah. We want to talk about some listener comments?
let's do it.
Start with Julian Cantu, who says, probably some of my favorite mythology episodes, and the red-haired man, he doesn't have red hair. Anyway, he is so cool and intimidating. Also, might have a man crush on him. Mr. X, great in this episode too. Also,
I think we all have a man crush on this guy.
No, Mike does for sure. Also, Scully, how are you going to let your gun get taken away that easy? You know better than to get closer to someone when you have a weapon with range. Yeah. That didn't happen here, did it? No, it did. She pulls her gun
He
out.
disarmed her a little bit.
Yeah.
And said, "You're wasting time."
You're wasting time. And then, would you like to read Emily's message?
Yes. I love these episodes. New drinking game. Take a shot whenever anyone says $29.95. It's interesting she say that, because my drinking game was anytime someone in the show says the truth.
Yeah, you get wasted.
You get wasted before the first few episodes are over.
Yeah.
But Mulder really got a lot of mileage out of that reference. I also love the self-referential Fox Network comments and the nonchalant way Scully comments on his porn habit.
Yeah.
Between Mulder's black turtleneck and a leather jacket and an angry Skinner, you gotta know these episodes leave a lot of us thirsty.
Well, you just have to hydrate. Just have some water handy.
Absolutely.
Oh, she meant something else. Oh. Oh.
Anybody else notice Scully's Coke pinky fingernail throughout season 3? No wonder Gillian Anderson lost the baby weight so fast. Damn.
Wow, I didn't notice that, but I'm going to be looking now. There's the new drinking game.
She goes on to say, I really wish we got more episodes with Matheson. I think it would have been cool to see more of his professional relationship with Mulder. I also wish we had more scenes with Scully and X. I agree. Scully and X is a good dynamic because they do not like each other.
Well, exactly. That's interesting. Where else? We're going to see Matheson one more time in SR819, but that'll be it.
Yeah. He does not play a huge role, and they turn him into a bad guy, ultimately.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
they could have done a lot with him, but yeah.
I like that they use him as a way to give Mulder somewhere to go when the going gets tough. I do dig that. But, ultimately, he's the path of last resort. So that just ups the tension, I suppose, when they say, when you go to Matheson, your back is up against the wall. Yeah.
Well, thanks for the comments, everyone.
Yeah, those are good.
Good comments. Well thought out.
I should also point out that Emily agreed with me on the name of of Mr. Red-haired Man.
It is a horrible name, and I don't get it. It's whatever. I think they just had someone in mind that they did not cast, and they just kept it that way. I don't know. If he's got red hair, then
they need better color grading.
Shocked.
That is the case. Well, that, lovely listeners, is the end of our episode where we talked about their episode, and I think it was pretty great. Even though it was super early for us, like we started recording at 4:30 in the morning because that was the only time we could get together.
Yeah.
So the sun is coming up, and if you play your cards right, you might get to listen to the next episode next.
Oh boy!
What do you think, Mike? You want to keep going?
Yeah. I'm jazzed. I'm wired. Let's do this.
All right. Thank you, as always, for listening. And Mike, I will give you the last word for now.
Everyone be safe out there. Don't jump on any trains. And if you see an alien getting onto a train, run, because it's not going to end well.
I will also add, if you see a guy get into the bathroom with you and he's got red hair or not red hair, be on your high alert.
Wear your neck
your anti-garroter.
chastity belt. Yeah. Put your fingers up. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at TINHXFilesPod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.